All right, this is a long question, so give me a second to read it here. An individual has been in line for an ALJ hearing for 8 months at an ODAR. All of a sudden, this individual gets a letter telling them that their case has now been transferred to another ODAR out of state and now has to start all over in line at this new ODAR. Is this common for this to happen? This individual only lives 10 minutes from the closest ODAR. What is your general opinion as to why this happens? Okay. The situation in that's being described here is I've seen happen before. Let's say, for instance, you have been waiting for a disability benefit, waiting to go to a hearing, and all of a sudden you've been told that your case is being transferred to another ODAR out of state, probably for a video hearing. First and foremost, I tell people two things. First, a lot of times they do this because the ODAR where you're at has such a backlog that another ODAR actually is better to, is in a better situation to handle it because they don't have quite as much of a backlog. That's the first thing I say. So I say that's the one thing you got to keep in mind, because in this example that the person is giving me, they're talking about, the Fort Myers ODAR is the one that they're looking for, Fort Myers, Florida, and their case was transferred to Franklin, Tennessee ODAR. And I say, well, first, and they're sitting there screaming about, and he wasn't screaming. He was basically saying, because he had a concern with the fact that, he's right 10 minutes from the Fort Myers. Why would they send it all the way to another one? And I'm like, first and foremost, would you rather wait 6 more months for Fort Myers or 2 months for Franklin? So I'm not trying to be smart about it, but you have to look at it from that standpoint. They usually transfer cases. The ODARs are very good about transferring cases to other jurisdictions when they have a backlog and things are moving slow. So if Fort Myers has a waiting period of about 16 to 15 months, but Franklin only is 9, they don't look and they're taking this because they want to make sure your case kicks into gear. Now, here's another thing I need you to be in mind. It does not start over. I know you're thinking that, but that's not what happens. They look at your request for hearing date. And if your request for hearing date was in September of 2012 and they transfer it to Franklin, they're not going to start you with a brand new request for hearing date of September 2013. September of 2012 is the date that takes precedence. The other thing you got to keep in mind is that if your case is an older case, like let's say your case was almost a year old, they're moving it there because your case is heading into what we call an aged category. It's an older case. And they don't like those cases to be sitting in the system. Trust me. So that's the first thing. They may be moving it because the office that you're having, that it's at right now, may have a backlog. And they don't want to penalize you to have you waiting. Now, if you just want to wait so that you can go 10 minutes to the closest ODAR, by all means, you can always tell them that you would prefer to have it there. But I'm going to say again, if it's a choice between waiting 4 or 5 months for the one that's local or a month or 2 for one that's far away, which one would you want to go with? Second of all, check the numbers. I'm not trying to be funny. Check the numbers. There's a site called disabilityjudges.com, and it actually gives you a nice breakdown of the percentages. And what do I say by that? Well, I don't know the numbers intimately for Franklin or Fort Myers, but check. Because if you get sent to an ODAR that has numbers that may be a little bit better than the one that you were at, what is the concern? So you're at an office that has slightly better numbers in terms of approval, and they can get to your hearing sooner. What do you want? Convenience or a better chance to win? Just keep those things in the back of your mind when you're looking. So I say this to kind of further articulate my point. Don't freak out if they pull your case and send it somewhere else. It doesn't mean you're starting over. It may mean that in an effort to ensure that you get your hearing in a timely manner, they recognize that your case where it's currently at may not be processing it in an expedited or a fast manner. They want to move it someplace to make sure that you get your hearing sooner as opposed to later.